Good morning, everyone. If you are all here, we can start the meeting. If Ibrahim is available, could you record the meeting minutes yourself?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Batuhan, I will ask you to summarize our action plan at the end of the meeting.
Well, of course, I'm interested.
We are here today to organize this year's Spring Festival. Our aim is to bring out our electric ideas for the Spring Fest. So the first part on the agenda is suggestion for this year's festival to go well. Ibrahim, do you have any suggestion about the festival plan this year?
Thank you, SİNANCEM. This year, the Spring Festival will be held after a long break because the pandemic prevented us from doing it in the past years. My opinion is to organize two big concerts at the DEMİR Stadium. Moreover, I tend to think that it will be a lot of fun for the students and the students clubs to set up stands on the banks near the çarşı.
Okay, Ibrahim, thank you. Let's move on. Batuhan's suggestions.
Well, I'm inclined to think that we should set up two alternative stages for amateur groups from our clubs. For instance, jazz club, Turkish folk music community, classical Turkish art music society, and finally music community can perform on these two stages. I think one of them can be in Kemal Kurdaş Cultural and Congress Center, and the other one can be in the Architectural Amphitheater.
Okay. As you know, there are some problems due to pandemic. I tend to think that we can take some preventions like mask and disinfectant items. These preventions bring some financial burdens. Therefore, I suggest that take money from each participant, or we can set up kermes to support festival financially. Okay, let's go the second part. In this part, first item is content of Springfest. Batuhan, what is your opinion of Ibrahim's offer?
Well, that seems pretty reasonable. The outdoor concerts do not pose a risk to the pandemic, at least not a grave risk. And moreover, it will be a relaxing activity for students who have been in quarantine for a long time.
I completely agree with you too. The stands that will be opened by student clubs will also be very enjoyable and interesting. Ibrahim, can you take care of this matter?
Yes, don't worry. I will deal with this issue by meeting with the International Service Directorate and Directorate.
Okay, we agreed on that. Now we can discuss Batuhan's proposal.
I agree up to a point. Batuhan's suggestions can be a good activity for amateur student groups to express themselves. However, while the effects of the pandemic are not over yet, organizing such events in closed areas such as the Architectural Amphitheater and Culture Center may pose a risk to health of the participants. That's why I recommended that these activities be held in open areas. For example, parking lots and green areas.
I completely agree with Ibrahim. We still need to take into account the effects of the pandemic. Cultural center parking lots, social loan, physical loan may be suitable for these stages. Also, these alternative stages can be a good option for those who do not prefer at their stadium concerts.
Yes, that seems reasonable. I still tend to forget that we are still in a pandemic. So, considering the effects of the pandemic, of course, what you said seems pretty appropriate. In that case, I will meet the school administration and the related communities and societies and clubs and settle this matter.
Okay, now come to the problem of financial source. I made a suggestion about this subject. Let's open it up for discussion. What do you think of my suggestion, Batuhan?
I totally disagree with you. Collecting money from students would be an act that does not identify with the spirit of ODTÜ. ODTÜ festivals have been held for years with the free participation of students. If we demand a fee from the participants, we will damage the solidarity spirit of ODTÜ. And since the pandemic will have shaken the economic conditions of the students, most of them will not be able to meet the fee that we demand.
I couldn't agree more, Batuhan. However, we still have financial problems. For this reason, it may be more appropriate to realize the second suggestion of SİNANCEM. The kermes organizations currently, many communities organize kermes on campus, so that we do not damage the solidarity spirit of ODTÜ.
Well, yes, I could not think that my proposal would harm the solidarity spirit of ODTÜ. Therefore, the kermes option seems more applicable. I also take responsibility for this issue. I will hold talks to the directors of cultural affairs and relevant student societies. However, this option may not solve all our financial problems. We may need to raise these items again when needed.
Well, I think kermes is a more suitable option too, over demanding fee from the students.
Okay. Right. It looks as we have covered the main items.
I agree. I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay. If everyone thinks so, can you summarize our action plan, Batuhan?
Sure. Well, to sum up, we agree on 3 issues. First of all, we agreed on the realization of concerts in DEMİR Stadium and the activities of student groups in the Çarşı area. Secondly, we also agreed that the stages of alternative music clubs should be held in open areas such as parking lots and green areas. And finally, we decided to organize kermes events in order to eliminate financial problems. And we strictly decided on that we do not demand any fee from any student.
Okay. Thanks for your participations, guys. The meeting is closed, but see you on the next meeting or meetings. See you.
See you,
See you.
SİNANCEM. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Yes, have a nice day.